It begins. This is the most talked about thing in professional wrestling right now. This is the hottest topic. This is what everyone wants to know about. Everyone is speculating about what it could possibly mean. Of course, I'm talking about the little video packages that WWE have been making, and they've called It Begins. I think that's the official title of them. I think another title was given to the most recent one. I can't remember what that name was. So here I am. I'm going to give you my opinions on who I think It Begins actually is, or who will be returning, or what will be happening. First of all, a quick little rundown. If you've not seen them, this is what's been happening. They're all in black and white. The first one started between an empty park where you had stuff like drips in water and it'd all circulate, and swings would be swinging empty in the wind, and balls would be rolling in a classroom, and there's a child sat in the chair scribbling away on a notepad, and he says, "A power shall come to punish the meek for their inequity. For the second day of 2012, a familiar force shall arrive to claim what is his, and it will be the end of the world as you know it." Now, when this came out, everyone was speculating, what could it be? Will it be The Undertaker? Obviously, we know The Undertaker will probably be coming back for WrestleMania like he did last year, so we think he's going to do the same this year. Well, this coming year, because it's still 2011. Will it be Chris Jericho? Because he said it's going to be in the year 2012. It's going to be in the second day, and it's going to be in January, so that spells out Y2J. Will it be Chris Jericho? That's another one of the things people have been throwing out there. Then the second one came along. Again, cutting between similar scenes of empty park and the kid scribbling away in the classroom, a young male child. And this time it said, "The power cometh is a thief in the night to claim what others have taken. Those who are unjust, destruction shall come upon them, and they shall not escape. The second day of 2012 is coming, and it will be the end of the world as you know it." But this time, as the child said, it will be the end of the world as you know it, a female child appears, sat in the back of the classroom where he's scribbling it in a notepad. That got me to thinking, is this Shane McMahon? Is the power who's going to come back Shane McMahon? I'll go further into detail after I tell you about the last one that's been the third and final one up to this point. Obviously, I think they're going to keep going with these up until January 2nd. So here we go. The third one said, "Behold, the power will come. Behold, the power will come with vengeance to render his anger with fury. The perception the weak have perpetrated will be castigated. The second day of 2012, the prophet will emerge and destroy the weak. It will be the end of the world as you know it." Again, black and white scenes of an empty park. A child in the classroom, but this time the girl is in the video all the way through. They're going to be building this up more progressively as it goes on, and as it goes on, it will be more clear who this person is. In the first one, people thought it was The Undertaker. Reasons why it could be The Undertaker is, like I said before, he comes back for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is where he's got his streak. We all think he's going to be coming back for this coming WrestleMania. When is a better time to bring him back than the start of the year, the first episode of Raw? Really smash it home. WWE started doing that last few years to make the first Raw a really special one, to get everyone interested in the products again. And this new year, new fresh start, get them in. They did it with Bret Hart back in 2010 when they had him come in, returning. Could this be Hogan's return? Could this be The Undertaker's return? Chris Jericho, he's another topic. Actually, wait, back to The Undertaker. My opinion on whether it'll be him or not, I don't think it will be. I think he is the obvious choice, and not so much the obvious choice, but the one I think they want us to think it is. I think that's the one who they want us to believe it's going to be. So we sit there and think, this is The Undertaker. This is first thought in all of our heads would be, this is The Undertaker, because they did the same thing last year. People were saying, it could be Sting. Sting, my next choice. Could it be Sting? I don't think so. He's still contracted to TNA, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's still on TV weekly now, isn't he? So yeah, I don't think it will be Sting. Next person on my list, Chris Jericho. Will it be Jericho? Well, this is a dodgy one because he's been coming out and saying, I have retired, I have no plans whatsoever to return to pro wrestling. What a better way to swerve it. You know, if he knows that he's coming back to pro wrestling, he's not going to come and say, actually, yeah, I might be coming back, because as soon as these vignettes start airing, then we'll all be saying, oh, it's Jericho, because Jericho has done this before. He debuted with vignettes, he returned with vignettes, and vignettes that weren't really outright and saying, oh, Chris Jericho's returning. It was sort of, Break the Code was the second one, and what was the first one? The Countdown to the Millennium, or the Countdown to Y2J. So it could be Chris Jericho ready to reinvent himself again. Well, people say reinvent himself. He doesn't really reinvent himself. He comes back as the same Chris Jericho. It's just whether he's a heel or a face. That's the only thing that's different. He said he's retired. He said he has no plans whatsoever to come back to pro wrestling, and that as far as he's concerned, he's not going to come back. Never say never sort of thing. But no, I've got no plans right now. Maybe it's a way to swerve the fans. I personally don't want it to be Chris Jericho. I don't think, well, we don't need him right now, in my opinion. We don't need him in the build up to WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is a big time. It doesn't matter who's there, it's a big time. The Rock will be there, Cena will be there, no doubt Triple H will be in a match, no doubt Undertaker will be returning. Well, I believe Undertaker will be returning. Kane is returning. We've been seeing Kane vignettes where he's been holding the mask to his face, and he throws it down and it's in fire, and everyone thinks Kane's coming back with a mask, and I'll give you my thoughts on that topic in another video. But this could be Kane. This could be them saying, look, Kane's coming back, because I don't think any of these vignettes have actually aired on WWE TV. I think they've just been putting links to them so you can find them in other places. So they've been doing the ones on TV, and maybe there's ones not on TV. Maybe it's both the same thing and we're both just not seeing it. I don't think it's that either. Karma could be the destructive force ready to return. Didn't she say something about being bullied in school or something like that by the divas? I can't really remember, maybe I'm making that up, but there was a girl in the classroom. Maybe that young boy, as the videos get further and further along, starts to become bullied by that girl, and Karma comes and scares the little girl off, and this is Karma's big return. She's flicking heads off Barbie dolls before. Now maybe she might be coming back as a good guy. I believe that she will be coming back as a face when she does return. But again, that's another topic for another video, because I don't think this is Karma. Now, my next one is the one who I thought it was, and I was sure it was going to be Skip Sheffield. Now, hear me out. The first one, it says, a power shall come to punish the meek for their inequity. And it says, a familiar force shall arrive to claim what is his. Because it said a familiar force shall arrive to claim what is his, afterwards I forgot the exact wording, and I thought it had said a familiar force will return. Now apparently Skip Sheffield's old gimmick of Ryback that he had in, I think he even had it in OVW. I think Skip Sheffield does date that far back in that he's been in the WWE developmental system for that long, that he had it in OVW, but I'm sure he had it in FCW as well. Apparently the Ryback character is a sort of a future gimmick. He's a guy from the future, so that would make sense if he was coming back to reclaim what is his, because he's from the future, so he's coming back in time to get what is his. And also, to me, that explained why there was a young boy sat scribbling away, because obviously if he's from the future, say he's from the year 2040, that if you skip all the way back to now, he would be a young schoolboy. And this is him scribbling saying, the power shall return, me from the future's coming back. It does sound like a bit of a wrestle crap sort of gimmick, and that's obviously when they're not going with this, I don't think, anymore, because I got the wording wrong in my head and I misremembered it basically. So yeah, I don't think it's Ryback anymore. I think it's one of the next two, and the first of all, I'm going to go with Vince McMahon now. Although he's likely, I don't think it's going to be. Reasons why I think it's Vince McMahon, because it says a power shall come back. Let's read specifically off this list. A familiar force shall arrive to claim what is his. Now, obviously that can't be Karma, because it says his. But a familiar force returns to claim what is his. Vince McMahon, the company is his, so that could very well make sense. Those who are unjust, destruction shall come upon them, and they shall not escape. Words like that, words like destruction, unjust, they shall not escape, remind me of Kane the Undertaker, big, scary guys, monsters in the ring. It doesn't remind me of guys like Chris Jericho, who, no offense to him, does not strike fear in me, but if I'm in the ring and I'm looking at the Undertaker, Kane, these big, huge guys, I'm scared shitless if they're coming to destroy me. You know, Undertaker, Kane, that's a scary prospect, but Jericho is just like another bloke. I fancy my chances against him if I had to, do you know what I mean? Whereas, obviously, kick my head in, he's fucking solid probably, but, you know, Kane and the Undertaker, no chance, do you know what I mean? They're just built up there. But yeah, Vince McMahon, to come back to claim what's rightfully his, but no, I think, and I am leaning towards Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, for the simple fact that he's coming back to get what is rightfully his. The company was his father's and it was been passed down to Stephanie McMahon, because Shane apparently didn't want it, or he didn't like the direction that it was going, and he apparently, so I think of what I've heard is that he just wanted to branch out on his own and try new things, and then he's gone to Japan or no, China I think it is, to do some internet or telecommunications deal, and that's massive business. He could create his own billion-dollar company. If he does break China, that would be massive for him, and he'll have created a company to rival his father's. That's massive. And as wrestling fans, a lot of wrestling fans don't see that and like, oh, why wouldn't he want to return to wrestling? Wrestling's awesome. Fair enough, wrestling's awesome, but he wants to create his own legacy. He doesn't want to be just Vince McMahon's child, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, if I had the choice, Vince McMahon said, hey, come over here and I'll teach you the ropes, I'd be like, oh, fucking damn right, get me in there, show me whatever. Teach me whatever you want to teach me about the wrestling business, I will learn. Shane McMahon's totally different, he's grown up with it, he's seen it all already, and he's sort of like, oh, I'm a bit tired of it, I'm going to go other places. But now, I think he might be returning because of this video only. Maybe his thing in China's not so kicking off, so he's decided to come back to the family business. Maybe the WWE is going in a new direction and they're going to be a bit more free with what they're doing. Apparently Linda McMahon's going for another Senate campaign, so that's not going to happen, but I don't know. The way the storyline's going so far, it leads me to believe that they are getting a bit more open and a bit less constricted with what they're doing in storyline, in terms of storyline. Another reason why I think he's Shane McMahon is because he sat there scribbling, and there's a girl behind him who to me looks slightly older than the child, and I'm sure Stephanie's older than Shane McMahon. So the girl's behind him taunting him. There's a ball there's a ball rolling in the empty room, and then when it cuts to the child and the boy and the girl in the room, the girl's got hold of the ball and she's messing around with the ball while the kid's scribbling away. It seems to me like the girl is the dominant one here and the boy is the weaker one, sat scribbling. But the kid's here. The kid is saying he's going to return. He's going to come back for what's rightfully his. The girl has got control of the ball. She's been given the ball to run with it at the moment, but she's just messing around with it. She's not taking full control. Shane McMahon's going to come back. I believe it is going to be Shane McMahon to return. Now let's run through these things and let's see if it makes sense. A power shall come to punish the meek for their inequity. Come to punish Stephanie McMahon because she has not delivered. For the second day of 2012, a familiar force shall arrive to claim what is his. Again, claiming what is his. This is family business. This is his family rights as a child of Vince McMahon to be given the company, or at least a share of the company. And it'll be the end of the world as you know it. Maybe, and now I was watching this, it's 10 years since the invasion angle happened. I would love it. I would absolutely love it if they sort of kicked off a brand warfare. Stephanie's guys versus Shane's guys. Shane comes back, starts to gather a bit of a following. Maybe they could build it slowly, then after WrestleMania it could all properly kick off and then end it at the next WrestleMania. It'd be awesome. In my opinion, they could really do good stuff with that. Next up we got, the power cometh is a thief in the night to claim what others have taken. Again, Stephanie's taken this right from under his nose, you know. Pro wrestling is seen as a men's business, but the girl has ended up with it. No, I'm not being sexist, I'm just saying in terms of perception of outsiders' viewers, like, oh, pro wrestling's just for men. It's not obviously just for men. There's loads of girls who watch pro wrestling. There might be girls watching this video now who watch pro wrestling. But yeah, The power cometh as a thief in the night to claim what others have taken. Stephanie's taken it. She's not stole it by any means, but she's taken it. She's taken it. And she's trying to run with it. Obviously, Vince McMahon is still in control, but she's got a bit more power, a lot more power than Shane had when they were both in the company. Those who are unjust destruction shall come upon them, and they shall not escape. Now, this is one that slightly doesn't make sense with the Shane McMahon character, because it's a bit extreme for a corporate takeover, isn't it? But again, if it was going to be brand warfare, that would really, really have it kick off. The second day of 2012 is coming, and it will be the end of the world as you know it. Now, the end of the world as you know it is obviously referring to the wrestling world. Maybe it's saying that the wrestling world will never be the same again. We are going to push on now. WWE are not the same as TNA. When they tell you something, they are going to come through with it. Unlike TNA was saying, oh yeah, this week is going to be the best ever, and oh, we're making real changes now, real things are happening now, when nothing changes whatsoever. When WWE say it, they do tend to change it up. So, the end of the wrestling world as you know it is what I'm interpreting this to be, and I do believe the Shane McMahon is going to come back, spice things up a little bit. Maybe it'll... I hate to pipe back to all the Attitude Era and all this, like a lot of people like to say. Obviously, I was a massive fan and massive proponent of the... Proponent, is that the right word? But I love the Attitude Era. Will it come back? I'm not one of those that says, oh, it must come back. But if sort of thing where they're pushing the envelope a little bit more, they're a bit more free to say what they want, a bit more liberal, then yeah, that sounds great to me. Behold then the third one, behold the power will come with vengeance to render his anger with fury. Again, this is something that's not too much like Shane McMahon. It's more set towards like an Undertaker Kane character, or maybe a Brodus Clay, maybe a Ryback. This is reasons why I think these guys could be included with this. The perception the weak have perpetrated will be castigated. Now, the perception of pro wrestling that may refer to, maybe he's referring to, right, this perception of pro wrestling, I don't like it. I'm gonna push it in new directions. I want it to be perceived differently. Maybe that's what it's saying. Maybe he's gonna come and say, listen, I want this, you're not giving it. And she'll say, no, things are going fine, and then that's how it will kick off. The second day of 2012, the prophet will emerge and destroy the weak. It will be the end of the world as you know it. Again, Shane McMahon, in my opinion. Now, you've heard my videos, you've heard my thoughts. You might not have even enjoyed this video. I don't know. I don't know how these are going to be perceived until obviously I see the comments down below. So please let me know whether you like this video or not. Because if you don't like these videos, then I won't do them. Because obviously if no one likes them, then what's the point in doing them? I like to do them, don't get me wrong. If everyone's watching them thinking, nah, it's rubbish, then fair enough. I'll do different things. You guys have got to let me know what to do, because obviously this channel, I do this to create talking points of other people, to talk about stuff. People like Ominous Squid, who I don't always get along with, but we have good conversation about pro wrestling down in these little boxes down here, and I can always rely on him. Or maybe it's a her, I don't know. I think I might have said that before. I don't know if it's a male or female. I'm guessing it's a male, because most of my viewers are males, according to my my stats. But yeah, we always have a good wrestling conversation down here. So yeah, let me know what you think of my video. Let me know what you think of the topic at hand, and let me know who you think it's going to be. Whether it be Undertaker, Ryback, Bill Goldberg, the 1976 Denver Broncos, who knows. Let me know your thoughts down below, and with that I'm out. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more of these videos, comment below and tell me. Subscribe up above, and thank you for watching. See you later.